MSNBC host Joy Reid scoffed. She scoffed at the alarmingly high number of Sanders and Yang supporters who are rejecting the vote blue no matter who movement to ultimately unify Democrats. It's not ultimately unifying. If he was ultimately unifying, you wouldn't have Tom Perez arbitrarily rigging the rolls against Sanders and Yang. It just wouldn't happen, and especially Yang and Tulsi. Some late night talk show host said, "Oh yeah, it's vote blue no matter who except for Tulsi." You know, like that kind of bullshit is the kind of stuff that makes half of us not want to vote for anybody else, and you guys don't understand that. You guys do not understand that, and it's sad. It's sickening, really. How's it, Yang and dudes and dudettes? My name is Sean, and my voice is recovering. I've been under a little bit of a cold, so it's all good. For all of those of you who are new, we do a little thing here where we like to pour a little gravy on the algorithm. The algorithm and the overlords, they need the gravy to make channels thrive, you know what I'm saying? So make sure you smack a like, make sure you share the video. And I just wanted to say, nobody's ever too late for the gravy. We got a lot of gravy going around, so make sure you get your gravy comments in there, because you never know when you might catch yourself on screen, you know what I'm saying? Just for no other reason than, you know, making sure that stuff like this gets out there, because Joy Reid has scoffed at the fact that, the Yang Gang, half of us will not buy into the whole political BS of vote blue no matter who. She scoffs at this. She thinks it's crazy because, oh, you ultimately have to beat Donald Trump. Now, Donald Trump's not been the best president. I'll grant you that. But you don't turn tail on your morals just because you think somebody else is worse. There's not a World War III. You know what I mean? He's no worse than George Bush. He's no worse than George Bush. And they didn't impeach George Bush. And George Bush did a lot worse. So, that being said, I am a conservative. I'm a little bit biased towards that. But I'm been covering progressive politics here lately, and I see a lot of that side too. So let's go ahead and get into, I guess, you know, Joy Reid's partisan hackery here, shall we? So MSNBC pundits and Democrats questioned party unity Saturday in response to a recent poll that revealed only about half of Andrew Yang and Bernie Sanders supporters would back any other Democratic presidential nominee. New York Times columnist Paul Krugman sought to temper MSNBC's host by Joy Reid's shock at the Emerson College News 7 News poll that found that 42% of Yang supporters would not consider backing any other Democratic candidate if he loses a nominee. Overall, the same polling data showed that 72% of Democratic primary voters plan on voting for the party's nominee even if their first choice doesn't prevail in the primaries. But only about half of both Sanders and Yang supporters agree that they would support any second choice. Okay, so here we have the little screenshot of the poll, and only 16% of Sanders say no. This is how you know Andrew Yang's campaign isn't going anywhere. This is how you know the Yang Gang is here to stay. I've said this a million times. Even if he dropped out yesterday, I would still be covering him wherever he goes in life. Just because, why not? I mean, he's introduced so many ideas into our political, you know, biosphere that we need to keep fighting for this, right? And over half of us say, no, it's Andrew Yang. Everybody else is all partisan hackery. They're all with flowery language. You go to Andrew Yang's site, and it's, by the way, we passed our FEC fundraising threshold. So congratulations, guys. Appreciate your donation. You know what I'm saying? Good job. Anyway, what was I saying? Yes, over half of us will not support anybody else. It's just a fact, and it shows how powerful we are and how we agree with Andrew Yang. You know, you go to his website, and it's nothing but stats and facts and data to back up his points. He has over 100 policy points that he wants to introduce. You go to Bernie Sanders, even Bernie Sanders, who is, you know, this great champion of Medicare for all. You go to his page, he has a couple paragraphs and a few bullet points. Literally, I am not lying. I've done a video on it. So, you know, anyways, let's go ahead and get into it. So, small percentages of Joe Biden and Elizabeth Warren supporters said they refused to support any other candidate. Just a very small percentage. The poll compares that to nearly 50% of the Yang and Sanders backers who said that they would not fall in line in November. Overwhelming majority of all the other Democratic hopefuls, including former South Bend, Indiana Mayor Pete Buttigieg and Michael Bloomberg, said they would gladly throw their support behind whoever Democratic nominee is. Yang has said that too, but that doesn't mean that we want that. We want Yang to go all the way. And I'm not pretending like he's running away with the nomination or anything like that. But, you know, we're not here to just throw in the towel just because Bloomberg writes an article about how Yangs wouldn't be surprised if a few people caucus for Bernie, when it already shows that over half of us won't support anybody else. So it'd probably be the other way around. She cautioned viewers Saturday that a second Trump term would be disastrous since Senate Republicans told him he can do anything he wants. Krugman agreed it would be deeply irresponsible for the left-leaning of moderate voters to stay at home if their first choice of candidate doesn't secure the nomination. And yes, he can do anything he wants. You know why? Is that because of the Republicans? It's because of the Democrats. The Democrats in the House. Every single time Trump wants to pass $180 billion, everybody signs right on. Yes. Every single one of them. Sure. But you couldn't introduce some bills for $160 billion to go for maybe AOC's Green New Deal. I don't agree with everything in the Green New Deal, but shouldn't that be your priority? Stuff like that, or maybe trying to figure something out for somebody, you know what I mean? Instead of just military. Like, there's so many economists saying that we can do more of a job with less money than what we have going on now. We ran out of bombs in Syria. We ran out of them. You know what I mean? And it's just it's an industry at this point. It's just for making money. You're killing people for profit, guys. That's what's happening. So I don't want to get too deep, dark, and depressed, especially that yellow dollar sign might kick in, you know what I'm saying? So anyways, we relayed the anecdote about voters telling her Sanders is too radical and fear he will lose badly to Trump, a suggestion not backed up by a majority of hypothetical head-to-head matchups between the two. Yeah, Sanders has beaten Trump a couple times on some of these hypothetical head-to-heads. Actually, Sanders and Yang is the only ones who really show up beating Trump in a head-to-head matchup. So, you know, it is what it is. And Reid is just trying to force everybody to conform to this. Like back in the day, it was like, you have to vote blue no matter who because of Hillary. No, people didn't like that. People do not like that, and they don't want Joe Biden, and they don't want Elizabeth Warren, and over half the country doesn't want Bernie Sanders, but a good half does, and those half are fighting for him. In the same way with Yang, we're a smaller scale, but we are stronger fighters, and we are in here to stay. And no matter how much you smear it, Joy Reid, it's not going to happen. It's just not going to happen. We don't know how Sanders will perform on come election day, Krugman replied, but it doesn't matter. Democrats should back him if he's the nominee. Lingering cracks in the Democratic Party were exacerbated by recent comments made by Hillary Clinton in which she accused Bernie Sanders of preventing the party from unifying. Speaking with two primary... What are you talking about, Clinton? Bernie Sanders campaigned for you. That's the reason why he lost so much support. He should be running away with this thing right now. But because of the DNC and the fact that he caved to you, even though you openly cheated against him, and then Debbie Wasserman Schultz cheated so bad she had to step down, and then you promoted her to one of your campaign advisors or aides or top whatever campaign person, that is just utterly corrupt, and nobody wants to support that. You would, for all we know, we would be in a worse war than Donald Trump. Yes, Donald Trump's got a lot of people out of the Middle East. Yeah, of course, he just lets the cat out of the bag and says, "Oh, but we're staying for the oil," right? So Hillary Clinton, she's been trying to do regime change wars forever. So no, this vote blue no matter who thing does not apply to us. To anybody who has a logical thinking brain. If somebody, just because you think Trump is worse than whoever, doesn't necessarily make him that, and doesn't necessarily make the person going up against him any less or worse. I mean, you're trying to impeach Donald Trump for crimes Joe Biden done. You know what I mean? So oh man, this is just getting kind of sick for me. So yes, she keeps going on to try to make it seem as if Clinton should have won, and that's the reason why vote blue no matter who should have been. Everybody should have went for Clinton, and that's the reason why Sanders tanked Clinton because half of Sanders. No, because we're supposed to fight against corruption. That was the whole point. When I was a Bernie bro back then, I wanted to fight against corruption, and as soon as he caved to her, I was turned off. I was done. Had nothing to do with Sanders after that. So that's what happened. I'm telling you, that's what happened. So I don't know. I can't find the video anywhere, guys. Not that I haven't really been looking extremely hard, but I can't find the video anywhere. Maybe I'm not looking very hard. So if anybody knows where this clip is or something like that, I'll pin it in the comment section. That way, at least people can go and watch that clip. But I can't really find it, so it is what it is. So, anyways, guys, that's really all I got for you. If you guys want to, check out my Patreon, check out my Discord, check out my Twitter, my merch, it's all right here. Channel is actually sponsored by Patreon now, and I'm very proud to say that. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. So anyways, guys, that's all I got for you. I love you guys. Appreciate you. Stay vigilant. Make sure you stay on top of this kind of stuff. And I'll catch you guys in the next time.